to spend with you all, and I want to make sure that you have the most time and opportunity to engage and ask questions and learn a little bit about our partners, the 100 Years Enterprise. And today they're going to talk about a little bit about being credible mentors. So in just a minute, I'm going to introduce Fahim and Patrick to you guys. But I do want to just share a little bit of information. And I see a lot of my Contra Costa County Office of Education folks. Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you. I'm going to get this. Okay, good idea. Thank you, sir, in the back. You guys just heard Contra Costa County Office of Education is in the house today, but I also see other unfamiliar faces, so if we could quickly go around and just shout out, what other counties are in the room today?
LA County.
LA County.
Tuolumne County.
Tuolumne County.
El Dorado.
Sorry. Say yours again.
El Dorado County.
Humboldt County.
Humboldt.
Orange County.
All right,
San Joaquin.
San Joaquin. Tulare.
Monterey.
Monterey? Ooh.
Imperial
Excellent.
County.
Say again?
Imperial County.
Imperial County, okay. If I was really excellent at this, I would give a prize for the folks who traveled the furthest. But yeah, I think you would have won. But I want to welcome everybody to Contra Costa County. We are the Contra Costa County Office of Education. For the folks who aren't familiar, this is my favorite part of the Bay Area. If we are in San Francisco now, if you look across the bay, you can see Contra Costa County. And there's a lot of beautiful hills to run in. So if you are here and you have some free time, I recommend a run in the hills in Contra Costa County. A little bit about our county before we get into the presentation. We are a large county. I think the next slide, we're the 11th largest county in the state. County Office of Education, we are one of the districts. We like to call ourselves the first district, and then there's 17 or 18 others. And you can see we have some big districts, and we even have one small school district with 69 kids in the whole district. And you'll see Mount Diablo, West Contra Costa, San Ramon get close to 30,000 students in those districts. So we are a big county. We have a lot of students, 169,000 students in 287 schools. We are a very diverse county. We have a lot of different groups are represented in our schools, and we're very proud of that. We have 19 schools, I think I talked about that. We have 9% of our students in private schools in Contra Costa County. We have 7,693 teachers. Raise your hand if you're one of them. Excellent. Average public school salary in Contra Costa County is $96,000 if anybody's interested. Our rent is higher, but at the same time, again, we have a rate of 47% of our students, or 44% of our students receiving free and reduced lunch, 16.1% of the county English learners, surprisingly 14.6% of our county, 24,000 students with disabilities, and we are the 11th largest student population, the 11th largest county student population in the state. I always show this slide in my county office folks, but like, why are you showing this slide? But I just want to always remind folks, this is for me, I'm a visual learner. When we're supporting our students in Contra Costa County, we have amazing people doing amazing acts of improvement. And this slide helps me remember that even when we're doing amazing acts of improvement, if we're not all going in the same direction, we're not doing best for kids. So this one just reminds us, random acts, we have great people doing great things, but if you can align those great things, you're gonna see much better results for students. So hopefully today we'll show you a little bit about how we're aligning our supports in Contra Costa County for our students. So this is the time I'm gonna turn it over to Patrick and Fahim, and they're gonna tell you a little bit about their organization and what they do and how they do it. We have time after they talk about what they do for some planted questions that I will ask them. But I also want to make sure that we have time for any questions from the audience. So where's Danielle?
I'm right here.
Danielle? I got a couple good timekeepers here.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that we leave at least 10, 15 minutes for questions. And
Okay,
folks
I got
just
you.
Feel free to remind us of that. So without further ado, I'm going to invite up Patrick and Fahim. And you guys can
Woohoo!
And I'm going to tell you to
Okay,
slide.
I'm gonna open up. First of all, I want to say thank you for having us here today. Got a big crowd here, got a big council. I appreciate you guys being here for us and supporting us. I feel loved. I'll turn it over to Fahim. You can open up for us. My name is Patrick.
And again, thank you all so much for having us here. We are 100 Years Enterprise Career Mentor Program. My name is Fahim, but shout out to Contra Costa County Office of Education for all the work that you do. Shout out to all the educators for all the work that you do for the youth. And our work is embedded in saving the youth because we understand what the youth went through. And how can we best understand what the youth went through? Because we all were youth, right? So, with that being said, we want to talk about what we do, why we do it, and the significance of our work.
Okay, we'll start off with the 100 years. I'll just read the 100 years enterprise, right? Our work is deeply rooted in community and transform to justice and healing. We work to reduce recidivism among youth and vulnerable individuals and help steer them away from early death decisions. That right there is our motto, early death decisions. What does that mean? Right? Steering them from making early death decisions. That means us as mentors, right? Credible mentors. I don't know if y'all heard the topic credible message. We're credible mentors. We take pride in what we do with the youth. We take our steps and we mentor them in custody, out of custody, as well as schools and in the communities. So that was part of our second chance. When we got released from being incarcerated long term, 100 years, it's described by 3 individuals, myself, Patrick, this is our other founder, Dante, and Fahim, and collectively, we done 100 years of incarceration. 93, we rounded off to 100. Keep it safe. So, with
How
that,
long did you do? Excuse me, how long did you do?
I did 31, from 19 to 50. So, since you say that, how much you do?
30 years and 10 months, from age 17 to 48.
And our third, he did 29. So that's like 92 years, right? So with that, that makes us credible mentors with all the processes we went through being incarcerated from youth offenders to adults. So we got out, we said our second chance will be giving back into the community and helping steer youth and make early death decisions with the work we do at Costa
And then we talk about how do we steer you from making those bad decisions or early death decisions, right? By doing this here. So, by connecting with Contra Costa County Probation in 2021, we started off with a financial literacy program during the heart of COVID. So that was a pilot program, teaching these kids how to count, how to use basic math, arithmetic, right? Subtraction. We did all those things on Zoom. We did it on Zoom. So how do you connect these kids who are constantly moving around, right? Don't want to sit still. We had embedded trust in them. Believe in us. And then the kids ask us, why should we believe in you? Well, who all been telling you lies all your life? Right? Those are hard questions that it is to ask these kids. Why should you trust somebody who you never knew?
And let me add something with that. We had to, as credible mentors, right? We had to go where they was at. I was 19. How old was you when you entered the
17.
17. So most of the youth that we deal with in custody are 17, 18, 19, 20. So that, but with us, what we did was connected with them and saying, listen, if you don't correct your behavior, right, and break it down to what that means, behavior, you're gonna end up what we did. But you might not come out like we did. You're gonna morph into something else.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're gonna come out with a gray beard. Your youth is the most precious thing that you have. Youth is worth more than money.
Absolutely.
Don't let them take your youth. So how do you get on the page back to your authentic self? How do you get back to your authentic self from going from antisocial to pro-social behavior? And we start teaching these things. Because sometimes you get lost in translation with language. We lose the kids with the language. We start talking to them and we expect them to understand what we're saying, right? But we're talking a different language. So So we was able to connect with them with language and then bring them up to speed.
Absolutely. And you have to be culturally competent too. You gotta understand. You have to be culturally competent. You can't come somewhere else from there and say, hey, please understand this. They're gonna look at us like we crazy, because it happened before, right? And so then we go to the vision, to create lasting change through mentorship, storytelling, and community engagement. Excuse me, we do podcasts. And our theme right now for the last 3 seasons is called Consequences of the Street Life. To understand why you should not go down that wrong path. It's a consequence. Many youth don't really understand the consequence. That's why they do it over and over and over again until we better in their head. Why? If you keep on doing this, you're gonna go to prison or die early. So we are the ones who try to intervene, get in the middle of that by going into their homes. So we go to the neighborhoods where the guns at, where the violence at, where the drugs at, where some people can't even go. Which is okay, because we always need a barrier, we always need a bridge to help us get somewhere else we can't go to. It's like crossing the water or a country, right? And that's what we do. And those are some of our mentors right here. Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much.
Good job, Nick.
So with that, right, this right here, just to touch on real lightly, credible mentor with lived experience, right? Who knows what lived experience means? So what we do is, everybody don't have to be in the judicial system to be a mentor. Let me clear that up, right? But you have to be able to connect. You can't come with a philosophical understanding that doesn't meet the need of the youth. That's not gonna work, right? So what we do in our interview process, when we do our onboarding, we ask some particular questions. Why you wanna be a mentor? Because the trust is not just the trust of the kid, but the trust of probation, the trust us to do a job, right? We gotta do the background checks and everything. So everybody here on this photo, right, their background been checked, they've been trained and everything to understand the needs of the youth and their obligation of their code of conduct to 100 years enterprise. So that's what you see here. So we're a team, and this is what, 7 right here? We up to 19, we have 5 women now.
Wow.
19. That was 2 years ago. This picture was 2 years ago. Yes. At COVID as Richard. But as Patrick just saying, it's very important to have a team of mentors, male and female, who can really go into the families. A lot of these kids come from broken homes, right? Dad isn't there. Dad wasn't there. How do I know that? I got a 37-year-old daughter. She was born where I was at. I was in the county jail trying to figure it out. Didn't know where my life was gonna go. Until 31 years later, but we was able to bond while I was inside. And that really helped me to connect with these youth out here to know what they're going through, right? Because sometimes we gotta play uncle. Sometimes we gotta play granddad. So the women have to play auntie or mother for those who aren't there, who've been missing. All right, next slide. Okay. Breaking the cycle of violence in underserved communities. I grew up in Richmond, California. Born and raised. We see it every day. Walk through the streets. We ride bicycles through the street. Actually, he just fell 2 weeks ago.
I haven't been on the bike in a long time. I got distracted. And tell me, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I told. I was airborne.
But the beauty of it is that we were mentoring. We were going through the kids, looking for kids going through the neighborhood. Unfortunately, he was looking at busting kids. And he flipped. But that's okay. But that's the beauty, of the work we do. So what you see here, there's a lot of kids who come from probation, right? Come from the educational system inside of juvenile hall, Mount McKinley. So these are some of their youth who sit in the audience that they used to have. All these young men who you see up in here did time in juvenile hall of Contra Costa County. So when they're released, they come to our reentry program, right? Through a referral basis, through probation. And we get these kids, and here we took them to the Warriors game. We take kids to the Warriors game, to the Modelo suite. It was way high up in the air, executive suites. And they had a lot of fun. Some of them not on the picture now, but here, it just really just shows how you connect. Look at the faces of the kids. Look at the smiles.
Let me say one thing to that. We took, what was that, 30 kids? It's my number, I wanna make sure my number is
31.
31 kids to the Warriors game in the Modelo suite. I don't know if y'all know what the Modelo Sweet is, but I'm
She
gonna
know.
It's like, the higher you, it's a ceiling right there, and it's way up in the sky. And it was so remarkable to me because the kids didn't even understand where they was at. They didn't have that thing like we was around executives and business owners, and it was that crowd they was in. And they didn't really get the concept. But they understood that they was taken somewhere where they can enjoy and be free. And all of them from different parts of Richmond, CASAC County, they was gangbanging. And we tell them, hey, when you with me, it's none of that. It's none of that. And we was able to bring everybody together and we enjoyed ourselves. We dropped everybody off. So it's that kind of monumental work that we do that we're passionate about. We go the extra mile.
I'm glad you said that, Patrick. When it comes, a lot of these kids, so we pick them up in our cars. We don't have vans, we pick them up in our cars. And can you imagine kids coming to your car with a mask on, what they call push icers, right? They got the mask on. And I had an organization contact me and say, Fahim, can we talk to you? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? They said, we heard that 100 Years Enterprise make all the kids take their mask off when they get in the car with me. I said, you know what, you heard right. That's what we do. So all the kids, you come with us, you take your mask off, you take your gloves off, and you pull your pants up. Because now we finna teach you, right? We finna teach you, you finna get what you didn't get at home. You walked out the door, you saw a whole lot of things, but didn't mean anything. But now we finna give you real life experiences. And that's what we do with these kids. We give them a clear understanding of why you should go down the right path, and if you don't, this is what's gonna happen to you.
And lived experience also entails when we have a youth, right? Sometimes we have to do the Bobby Digital. I say Bobby Digital, that's a little slang, right? Meaning that we download them. Okay, who you connected with? What's your dad name? What's your uncle name? What's your cousin name? What's your nephew name?
Absolutely.
Until we find you. If you from this community, we're gonna find you. Because we ran the same streets you ran. And that's that lived experience. So we say, that's your uncle, that's your daddy. Tell your daddy that Patrick talked to you. Tell your daddy that you're talking to Fahim. And they'll come back and say, oh man, my dad told you, man, what's up, nigga, listening to y'all. That's the lived experience we're talking about, the connection. So it's important to have that dynamic and then see them coming in and we teaching classes. So we talk about change, but we also talk about, okay, why is it important? Why is education really important? Because that's a lot of times we misstep in that area too. As teachers, we don't give them, and parents, we don't give the teachers, I know when I was young, I started selling drugs every day because I didn't understand the importance of education. All I thought, when I see somebody in the bands with money in their pocket on street with a lot of jewelry, that's what I want. You tell me you wait 10 years to get that? It doesn't make sense to a kid. So we have to make sense of the dialogue of why we have it. And then point them to ways of resources. So those are kind of dynamics that we do as an organization.
Absolutely.
Next slide.
Next slide. Oh yeah, many of them kids have jobs too. One of them just came back from New York on his way to do further education in Spain. Y'all know Vincent, right? So Vincent's on his way to Spain. Yeah. He's on his way to Spain. Okay. What we do? CASAC County Juvenile Hall. So inside of Juvenile Hall, we mentioned youth inside. So we have what's called MC3 program, multi-craft core curriculum. That is to teach these youth the basics of construction, hands-on training. We teach them 40 hours of math. We teach them OSHA safety, OSHA training, 10 hours of that, right? But in a society, it's normally a 10 to 12-month program. Inside Juvenile Hall, we run it for 11 months, the whole school year. So imagine young kids coming inside, I like to call them youth. Imagine youth coming inside the program, never picked up a drill, never picked up a measuring tape, right? Never stood on a ladder, never worked together as a team. We have not had one violent incident in our program. Our kids don't even argue with each other. They don't. And it's great because they respect the program and they respect us. And they know that they come into the program to learn, to get it. And they know once they leave our program, if they stick with it, getting a job is gonna be easy. And we help them with resume building.
Can I add one more thing
Yes,
to
sir.
that too? I'm gonna say this, I'm being funny. I call them young street punks, right? But we push up on them too.
Yeah.
Meaning that we're not afraid of them. Because where they going is where we've been. And we saying we're back. We really your big homie, if you just wanna put a title on it. So what we do is connect with them, look them dead in their eye and say, listen, stop playing. First of all, stop playing with a grown man. That's first. And second, stop playing with yourself. I'm here to help you. We do the one-on-ones, because some may come and feel a little squirrely. They don't want to work today, whatever the case may be. Okay, we'll do a one-on-one. Let's do a one-on-one. What's happening? That tells me, man, something happened at home. My girl left me. You know what I mean? My dad ain't talking to me. So we take all these things in, and then I may, if it's me or him, I may say, if he have a little issue, okay, you have time out for a minute. What, 15, 20, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready, come on. We don't quit on it. You know what I mean? Because we just teach them how to transfer that energy into positivity. Go ahead, John.
And for the most part, they're great. Hey, and again, we also mentioned youth has been released from probation, as I was saying earlier. They come home, they come to us. We talk to the parents, we help get these kids anywhere they need to go. If they go to court, our mentors take the youth to court, pick them up to court, take them to school, pick them up from school. We provide Uber, whatever transportation needs these youth need, or wherever they're trying to go, we make sure they get there. We make sure, right? And that's what it's about, really just showing them that we care. It can be a weekend, right? We tell our mentors to make sure you text the kids, you call them and check on them. Not just your assigned days, because that way they will know and understand that your phone is always open. If they need us, we there for them. Only if it's right. And we'll never lie for the kids, never. Because they're trying to manipulate, right? We're gonna let you know, not us. Not us, they're trying, right? And so that's what we do. We started financial literacy at Greenwood Academy, which is a credit recovery school in Richmond. Now we still teach financial literacy, but also we have what's called
Conflict mediation?
yeah,
I got you. You're not gonna fail with me.
So we have a conflict mediation program that we began a year ago, about a year and a half ago. It was just a regular mentoring program. We began in 2021. It's a great program. So we have 2 males and 1 female go at the school, do great work. So they go Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is good. Mondays and Wednesdays. Great program. I want to give a shout to Philip Johnson, who's the principal there.
That's Philip Johnson right here.
Yeah, he's opening the door. That's
That's the
about to
principal.
retire. And it's a great program. We had one major incident maybe a month and a half ago. They had to close the whole school down, so our mentors intervened, and it's been great ever since. All right.
I just want to add something too before you go to the next slide. This is our safe space for men we hold once a month, where we collectively bring all the men in the community together, the young men, whether it be in custody, out of custody, that we mentor, and those older men that's looking to be mentors or just want to come together and talk about issues that impacts our community, right? And we try to solve them amongst each other. We do this once a month, every 4th week, every 4th Wednesday of the month. We do that. This is in front of Juvenile Hall mentors. They all got approved to come in. They do the night classes. He was describing about the Pathway to New Beginning, and also the CGA Criminal Gang Anonymous classes. They are trained to do those classes. They are approved to come in. The Juvenile Hall, thank God for that. Probation has been lovely by being instrumental by having to do the pre-tests, getting their background checked every day so they can come in and do the work. And this is our podcast. So we have guests come on and we talk about consequences of street life. And we're very popular now. We bring people on, it could be anybody. You know what I mean? We even had one, tell about the forum we did. Tell them about that.
Yes, we were fortunate 3 weeks ago to host and moderate the Richmond mayor's race, which is a city council's race, which is great. They put a bullseye on us, but it's good. I would love to go back here to this safe space for men. It began in 2020 when the world was been shut down. So we did this on Zoom. Imagine keeping the attention of young men during COVID on Zoom, and then we morphed to in-person. Now we hold it in person and on Zoom. So it's a great program.
Next slide.
Yes.
Okay. And we just spoke on the speaking engagement forums. So we connected with Moms Demand Action in 2021. We do a lot of advocacy work through them. They're a great partner. Here you see us, we speak in UCSF on Zuckerberg. We did another a youth summit a year ago, which was another partner. And here is a gun violence summit in Richmond last year. We're orange. So it's all about really just giving our voice to the community, to the people, and say, hey, it's time for change, and any way you need us, we're gonna help spark the conversation, be involved, not just through emails. We're gonna come to you and see what we can do to help these kids, to help the community for positive change. And that's what it's about. So we do many things. What I love about all this work, all of that is good. That's the good stuff. But I like this here. Walking for those who have cancer, recovered from cancer, domestic violence, all these things, and going into the heart of the community to serve the unhoused. Right? Yeah, we don't just do this. We go where it's raining, where the people don't have cars, don't have homes. Give them food, right? Give them sleeping bags, give them hygiene kits. Talk to them. We don't just give it to them, we sit down and talk to them. We just have a young man who's running for mayor in Richmond. He's walking around the neighborhood. We made him stop and talk to an unhoused guy. This is what we're about to do. He's running for mayor, this is what we're about to do for the people. And that's some of the work that we do. I take pride in this right here.
Absolutely.
Okay, and this is the how you can help. We have shared these slides. I guess the conference has these slides, so folks, you guys can download this and have this information. You want to talk a little bit about how people can help, and then we'll get to the questions. My timekeeper's moving me along.
Yes, and thank you. And I'm going to talk a lot. Okay, how can you help? Donate today to support our work includes our podcast to spread the message, field trips for the youth. This is the Giants game right here. I take great pride in seeing the kids smile, laugh, you know what I mean? And then pull them to the side and tell them what they ain't doing, what they should be doing. This is a great time for us. This is our icebreaker. Sometimes icebreaker conversation, yeah, it's cool.
Right.
But when you show them, okay, come on, let's go. We going to the game for real, yeah, come on. When we get to the game, now they're more open to talk because they see I care, right? And I spend time, my weekend, spend time with the kids, right? So all these things defines credible mentors, right? So also back to school, we do the backpack drive. So when school come in, we collect backpacks, everything we can to give back. Food and supplies for the unhoused. We feed the homeless. That's Fahim described earlier. Holiday gifts and giveaways and volunteer right here. So this information right here is our email address and here's our donate address. Excuse me.
Absolutely. Let me just ask, and this picture right here, which you see Dante in, this is our annual, I like to call it a family holiday, right? But we bring the community together every year. Every Labor Day weekend, weekend before Labor Day, we have a family day at the Vallejo waterfront. We give away free food, it's a free event, paint, the kids have so much fun. The only downside was last year, we had these big, these jumping houses, right? Yeah. We didn't know that they were gonna tire them. One of them went down, but no one got hurt. But the kids were so mad.
Fahim, come on!
So we had to hurry up. And and so here, I'm in the neighborhood in Richmond. So during the holidays, I pack my Jeep up, we'll pack our cars up, and we go take it to the community. That's what we do. And with that being said, if you got something to say,
I got one more thing to say, because I want to say that we really appreciate the support for CASAC probation and education. They have been backing us We started with one class, financial literacy, 1 hour a week, that went for 5 classes. We got 5 different programs inside juvenile hall, along with MC3. They've been very instrumental to seeing our growth. We went from 3 mentors to 19 within 3 years. Am I saying
3 to 4 years, yeah.
So, and we're growing, and people are calling us and getting at us and sending their resumes to join us. So I'm very, very humble and proud to stand in front of you and say that this work matters. For real. And so, you know, all this stuff that we do is for real. And I just appreciate you guys supporting us, you know, and seeing our growth, right? And allowing us to give back. This is what our second chance look like. And so, you know, I just want to say I'm thankful for you guys, and especially JCCASAC County.
Brian.
You got it.
Brian,
Come here, Brian, don't cry though.
You gotta go up there.
This guy right here, right? This guy, he calls us superstars, but Brian is a real superstar. This guy right here will blow your email up. Right? Good stuff. Hey, Brian, man.
And he's a comedian.
Come on, man. Thank you, Brian. This guy right here. You know, but Nick Burke. Come on, yeah, Nick. Come on, Nick.
I'm gonna move us along.
So we got
We got Nick, but these gentlemen right here, along with their staff, yeah, they saved us.
No, I was 100 days into my principalship, and I had no construction teacher, and you guys came into my world and continue to grow every single time, and your mission has just stayed, like, to know that you guys went from 3 to 19.
Yes.
And all the classes you do. We're so thankful for the work and the mission you guys provide, not just our kids, but the
Thank you so
community.
much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Thank
you,
you for
Brian.
doing the work. So,
Yes, sir.
So I'm gonna transition us to questions, and we can start in the back, but I do wanna get in one statement, and you said it well. As I'm standing up here from the Contra Costa County Office of Education, but this is really, probation is, our relationship with probation is why this works, and our relationship with these guys. And when you go back to that arrow slide, when probation and county office of ed and these guys, when we talk, we're all trying to figure out which direction the arrow is going. It's not probation's making us go this way or county office is making us go this way. That's why I actually really wanted to bring this group, you know, this show you guys what we're doing up here in the Bay Area, and it's a very unique thing. But this is a lot of people, like you said, this is a whole community. And this is a very generous probation. This is an amazing principal. This is amazing teachers. Like, all of it really does come together. And we're all focused on kids. Right? That's a big
And before
thing.
we go,
Right, we have
one
a
time.
question in the back.
Okay.
I saw his hand up.
It wouldn't happen without our team. So I want to give a shout out to our team. We got a magnificent team. So shout out to the team.
So I have 4 planted questions, but let's start with questions from the audience, and if we have time, we'll go to mine.
I'm a teacher in LA County, but I got actually a few questions. One, question about your funding. Where does your funding come from? 2, based on how you're selling the program, it sounds fantastic, but as far as funding goes, again, it's gonna be tied to the next question is how do you show that you guys are being successful? I mean, you could sort of say it, but it's like they're gonna want, you know, some sort of statistical analysis showing, okay, you know, our program is successful. And my last question, well, another thing is, you guys call it a safe space, and I just started another one. A better name for it might be a brave space, because no space is actually safe. But if it's such a successful program, how do you expand it, say, into LA County?
Can I start with just funding, because that's an easy one. Funding, this is a good example of graded funding. County office funds, CTE funds to get kids, and probation's funds for reentry, grants for financial literacy. This is the best example of that graded and blended funding to get contracts with these guys, and then Yanina makes the contracts happen in the back there.
And about the funding, and we have different partnerships. We got a partnership with Chevron to help with the Greenwood Academy, right? So that's part. But we also have a team that put in grants for us. We don't get every grant, but we got a team that put in grants.
So the question, it's a really good question, accountability. Because I should be up here showing you, here's the data that shows that their work made a difference. There's less kids returning to juvenile hall than in the past years. can you guys talk a little bit about that? You know, the data is, it's, you know, it's a big question, and there's a lot of pieces to it, but can you guys talk about, like, how do you show that this is a successful program for you?
Yeah, it's very easy. And again, like we said earlier, so all of our youth that we touch inside of juvenile hall that come through the reentry program, we have a very low recidivism rate. And how do we track it? We track it through the probation department, those who have returned, right? That's one way. So we have a data collection team. We have 3 people who collect all of our data every week, not monthly, but every week. And then Patrick and myself, we cross-reference everything daily. So those who are being referred to us, those who are violating probation, those who are skipping class, we have numbers on everything. Everything we do is documented. Everything, not just through a spreadsheet, not just through a Google Doc, but through phone calls. Another way how we track it, we gonna knock on the doors. What your kid doing today? You return? You been? Okay.
And that hour that mentor is mentoring their youth is documented, right? Per contract. To answer another question that you said too, that's very deep. Us as an organization, right? The kids are being referred by the judges through probation. Like you said, we all sit at the table and they hear our voices. And we sit together and work together to figure out what's best for the youth. Right? And then we go into how we get that done through the contracts. Right? So all those things are dynamics that we do, the work that we do. But every time we mentor a kid in regards to out of custody, right? That hour, they pay for that hour, and the data is collected, right? And we do it per week, and we collect all the data, and that translates to invoices that we give to probation.
So are you guys expanding outside of?
Absolutely, but it depends on, because we want to make sure our infrastructure is sound, right? And then there'll be a heavy training down there, of course. And then we get those people in that community, because trust me, we've done 100 years. We know some of everybody. Especially in this, if you're a credible mentor and you've done time, you know us, right? And we got a whole bunch of friends in LA County that know us. So that's the process, right? Because we don't want to go in the community, right? And we don't want nobody in the community telling them what to do or just making them feel like no kid wants to be probed. So that's important. So that connection, being a credible mentor, has to count for something. That's the introduction, that's the intro. Then we can start introducing things that kid needs to transfer his knowledge or his know-how into positive growth.
But how to go into another county? Will we do it? Of course. That's all about sitting down. We need to put an RFP together. But before that, we can sit down, have a conversation, put a presentation, see what works for your system. And if it works for our system, then we sit down and talk. Because San Luis Obispo already reached out to us, San Joaquin County reached out, and Alameda. So soon we'll be going to Alameda County. Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 questions. The first question is for you guys. What was it when you guys were incarcerated that made you want to change your life and then go on to do something like this? Like, did you guys have mentors like yourself, or was it the lack of such a thing that made you want to do this? And then the next question is, with the kids, do you find that it's more so about just like the community and like seeing them and giving them a chance, or is it I guess like the counseling part of it of like, hey, like don't do this, and like the motivation, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, for me, what really made me want to change is that, yes, I was mentoring inside, a lot of youth would come in, but also my dad was in prison, right? So my mom used to take me to see my dad when I was 9 years old. Excuse me, I was 7 years old. What did that do for me? I wanted to be like my dad, follow his footsteps. At 9 years old, I received a phone call from my dad, told me I'd never see him or talk to him again. And I haven't. So I went down that wrong path. But I got incarcerated. I knew there's a point in time I had to stop seeing my mom cry. Right? Stop seeing family members cry. But I also realized the hurt, pain, and the trauma that I caused the community. And I told myself while I was inside, I never want to return the same person that I went in. So prior to me being found suitable for parole, I started a nonprofit program inside called Motivated to Help Others. Through what's called the Council Relate for Life Walk. Started that program, brought it out, and then we started 100 Years Enterprise. So the work was already going. We just needed a chance, a second chance to get out and do this work, and here we are today.
I want to add something to that, because his story a little bit different than mine, right? I was convicted as an aiding and abettor. I'm quite sure y'all aware of that. But I was in the car when the actual crime happened, but it proved that we didn't do it. But I ended up suffering, doing 31 years for a crime I didn't do. And so my hands weren't totally clean, but I didn't kill anyone. And I ended up doing 31 years. I was the only one that did 31 years. I was a defendant that was convicted with a ghost defendant. I don't know if y'all understand that. Meaning that a perpetrator wasn't convicted for the crime. I got aided and abetted to a second-degree murder and 2 attempts with no defendant. So you want to touch on that? I'm saying that changed me because I went through a metamorphosis of depression. Became extremely violent. It took me like 20 years to say I'm tired. So through that 20 years, though, I learned the lesson once I started applying myself in all the self-help programs that was available to me out of anger, though. I'm gonna learn this system, right? And once I learned it, I said, you know what? And I'm gonna give you another antidote. We start praying to God. We had a strong belief system, and our belief system changed us. And then we started saying, okay, this brother right here told me, he said, came to my case when they denied my appeal. I filed 13 appeals on myself. And he told me, man, your hands ain't totally clean, though. And I knew that brother loved me, and we've been doing like 30 years in prison together. So our second chance came back and said, okay, since I changed, who better to do it? Dr. Phil can't do what we do. Dr. Phil ain't gonna come talk to us. Right? So it's gonna come from us. But we had to become educated. I teach the math at MC3, how about that? I teach the math. Now, I was always good at math. I just never applied it. So those kind of dynamics, that works. Thank you.
Can I just add one thing that I think is important in the conversation is you asked about, is it just counseling or is it just being present with the youth when they need somebody present? But they've also talked about giving them skills to be in the union, you know, in the trades union when they get out. So it's a lot of it, what I love about it is a lot of it is based around getting a job, keeping a job, getting back in school. Like there's always another piece to it. It isn't just, you know, it's not motivated to just be at peace, but motivated to do more. So that's where I see the beauty of it. It's about getting jobs, it's about feeding people, it's about, and then meeting their needs, you know. They talk about feeding people, like that's a pretty fundamental way to get to somebody's heart.
Absolutely. I would like to add something Nick just said. So we have a partnership with Rise and Sun Center for Opportunity Career Apprenticeship Program. You ever heard of Rise and Sun Center for Opportunity in Oakland? Okay, I'm executive board member there, but I'm also the secretary of the organization. So any youth that are released from probation or juvenile hall or anywhere, we help them get jobs or get into the career apprenticeship program, which is 28 building trades. So we help them work for development. Hands-on training, whatever they need, we provide. So we try not to miss a step. Thanks, man.
Can I just add, MC3 program, multi-core craft curriculum?
Yes.
One of the units is how to treat people, women in a construction zone. So like when you're growing up like me, that was always the thing, like, oh, those people whistle. But these guys directly teach kids how to be respectful in the workplace.
Yeah.
And that's a skill that's embedded within this curriculum, but what a life skill, right?
Yeah.
So.
Can I ask one more thing really quick? Are there any kind of requirements for the kids to be part of the program after they're in person, like after they get out? Like, for example, like, are you like, hey, like you're on drugs, you can't be part of this, or is it just like open doors?
Open doors.
Yeah.
Show up. We'll be here with you.
Yeah, I just had a parent call me, what, 2 weeks ago, at Mount Diablo High School. We did a presentation there. And Mount Diablo High School, listened to our presentation and recommended a parent to get at us about mentoring a kid, a troubled kid. Cause you got troubled kid, you got at-risk youth, right? And trouble just mean they ain't been arrested yet.
Right.
They cutting school, they smoking weed, you know, y'all, all our parents deal with it, right? But if they keep going, they're gonna become at risk. And when at risk, they become contact with law enforcement. You're at risk, right? So in that dynamic, the parent reached out to me and Fahim and said, hey, I've been recommended to Mount Diablo, could you help me with my kid? And we broke it down. She told me his father passed away 3 years ago. Ever since his father passed away 3 years ago, he's been kind of off tilt. So it was one of the situations that it wasn't based on a contract, it wasn't based on that, it was based on humanity. And this is the work I do. And so it was like, what I do? I mean, but I'm so into this, I'm in this mode. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So I went and seen the kid, built a relationship with the kid, the mom and all that, and that's what I do. So that answers your question. If it comes to the phone call, and we able to do it, we're gonna do it.
Absolutely. No kid turned away?
Okay.
Looking at the time, our time is up. I bet we have room for one more question if there is any burning questions before we thank these folks.
All right. Well, again, but thank you all for having me.
Thank you.